Welcome back. You're witnessing history, the last Artie Lange show on DirecTV. My next guest is I'm so glad he's here on this night. He's become a friend, and he's a great guest on the show. Talk some hoops, talk some Sterling, everybody's talking about that. We haven't had a chance yet. But Alaa Abdelnaby's here. What's up, buddy?
Artie, good to be with you, John.
Yeah.
Walked in. Shane Elrod was kind enough to tell me the news. It was like a punch in the gut, man. So I'm really, really grateful to be here.
No play. Listen, man, I appreciate you. You've been great on the show.
Because if I wasn't here and found out otherwise, I would be really, really crushed. So I got a chance to spend a little time with you guys and show you how grateful I am.
Thanks, Alaa. Well, because you're a friend, if you don't mind, I want to take some phone calls.
Please.
A lot of people want to say hi. Wayne in Florida. Hey, Wayne, you're on the air.
What's up, Artie?
Hey, Wayne.
Man, I got to tell you, thank you, man. You saved my life when I was behind the fence at Florida State Prison, man. If it wasn't for you, I was getting ready to crack up pretty hard.
Really? You all right now?
Yeah. Oh, I'm straight as can be. I was going to my main camp, and I had just gotten with my wife and kids, so, I was really an emotional wreck. And for some weird reason, I was just north of Tallahassee, 40 miles, about a mile from the Georgia border. Middle of nowhere. I could barely pick up 2 a.m. stations. In the middle of the night, it was about 11 o'clock. I was in the bathroom playing with my radio, and I was able to pick up your signal coming out of Fort Lauderdale or Miami. You guys were on somewhere.
Wow.
Because you and Nick DiPaolo were on, and I listened all the way to 1 o'clock, man, and brought me back from the edge. I was really going to get messed up hard by them guards, man. I was missing my kids. I couldn't get through on the phone. My wife had just answered. I hadn't talked to her in 10 days. Yeah.
Man, well,
I'm catch your show now.
I'm glad you're all right, buddy, and thanks for the kind words.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I listened to you down in Naples from the station in Tampa. The Bubba station, what is it, 102.5?
Yeah, the Bone or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, say, are you still going to be doing a podcast or anything, or just that's it? No more.
I'll be doing something down the road, man. I got to keep doing this. It's all I know how to do, brother. So
that's cool, man. Because I actually got some awesome advice from you about my diabetes. I was the same way you was. Wouldn't take my medicine. Matter of fact, I had a reading at 390, and I was like, yeah, is that high, low?
That's
so
high.
I'm really going to start looking at it now that you. No, I mean, hearing what you went through,
Yeah, it's controllable, brother. You just got to live the right way. And listen, I will definitely see you down the road. I appreciate the call, Wayne.
You got it. Thanks, Artie. Good luck, man.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Like,
Jake in Florida. Jake, you're on the air.
Hey, Artie.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, buddy. I'm in Ventura, California.
Oh, California. I'm sorry. I thought it was like Jake in California. What's up?
Man, hey, here are the issues. I'm going to make them short and sweet.
Go ahead.
No, man, I've been following you, man. I couldn't believe the news, man, when you were hurt and you were suffering, and I was feeling for you, and I, man, it was so great when you came back on the air, and John Ritchie's very eloquent, and Mike Boschetti's hilarious, and I dug the whole thing, and I just, I love you, man. I'm going to follow you wherever you go.
Thanks, Jake. That means a lot to me, Jake. It really does, and I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But maybe one more thing. I mean, I think Mark Kriegel might have been the death sentence.
Yeah, Kriegel Friday night. Kriegel's spot on Friday night.
The way that he sounds on the air is, first of all, you ask him something.
That's hardcore.
That's well.
Yeah.
It's a rough room, man.
So your one note, Jake, is Les Kriegel.
Les Kriegel.
Okay, you got
that's only going to help.
If I'm lucky enough to have another show, I will remember those 2 words, Les Kriegel.
Les Kriegel.
Okay. Jake, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Jake in California. Ken in Jersey. Ken.
Hey, Artie.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, thanks, man. Great show, and I'm sorry it's going away.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate the
crew's been great. I mean, I've called in a bunch of times. The first time I got through, unfortunately, it's the last night. But the apps are phenomenal. I mean,
Great.
If I miss it at night, I can catch it during the day. It was just amazing how some of that stuff worked. You guys really, really got your act together.
Well, great.
And, hopefully, you can just pick up everyone who's there. Great crew, and plop them down somewhere else and get this thing going again.
Well, thanks, Ken. I appreciate you listening. And yeah, keep watching out. We'll see you down the road, brother.
Yeah. All right. Well, goodbye, DirecTV. I loved it, man. It was the best thing on DirecTV.
Thanks, Ken. Take care,
you
brother.
Guys.
Real quick, you're gonna like this, Alaa. Eric in New Orleans. Eric.
Who that?
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
It's for real, huh, bro?
Yeah, it's for real, brother.
my nuts. Yeah, I just learned about it listening, waiting online. It hurts. Yeah, about to cry. Your boy Bruce Springsteen's playing here Saturday at Jazz Fest, so why don't you come on down here then?
Are you going?
Yeah, well, I got to see Christian Aguilera on Friday, and
Wow.
Eric, I got to say.
Christina Aguilera, then the boss.
Listen, I've been all over the country, all over the world, blah, blah, doing. Eric, I met in New Orleans when we were there. He's the scariest human being I've ever met.
you terrified me the same.
But I say that with all due respect, Eric.
And I know, and those damn twins, they're the scariest people on the planet. Man.
Well, listen, you speak the truth.
Ew.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's true. I love you. Listen back.
I love you. I love you too. I love you too. I'll see you soon. All right. I'll see you. I'll probably be in the same mental institution at some point.
Lake Pond.
You got it. And we'll talk about the good old days of John Ritchie and his bloody head and Tampa Raiders.
No way. All right, Eric. Thanks, brother.
Who that? I love you all.
Love you. Take care. Eric from New Orleans was really a scary individual. Yeah, that guy. You got to meet that guy.
I've been to New Orleans a couple of times, but I'll be on the lookout next time I'm down there.
Well, I'm glad you're here tonight. This is really appropriate because the Donald Sterling story is, I mean, everybody's talking about it. Let's play a little of the tape first.
Oh, let's.
And then look, you're a former NBA great. We could talk to you about this. Everybody interested in your opinion. I have a few myself.
Okay.
Let's hear a couple of clips that James has prepared.
If it makes you happy, I will remove all of the black people from my Instagram.
Oh, my God.
You said that before. You said, I understand.
I did remove the people that were
She said that
independently
before?
on Instagram.
He asked her
that are
before.
black.
She said that. First of all, she said that before. If it makes you happy. Again, the observation I have about this tape is it's just two grotesque human beings.
Nasty people.
And they belong in Los Angeles. This is L.A. indigenous. That's what this is. This is just two gross human beings having a conversation. This disgusting whore, is just obviously just out for herself.
She's baiting him.
She's baiting him,
For sure.
taping him, egging him on. She's just disgusting. Not enough people are saying that. And then, of course, him. Look, he's 80 years old. He's ignorant. The world has outgrown a guy like this. The guy's got a bunch of chips that he made. He's got to take them away from life's poker table. The world outgrew his views. Like, take your money and go home. And I'm sure that's what they're going to make him do.
Can we be really surprised? He's an 80-year-old guy who's basically, in the job he's had, put very little in. That Clippers team has been horrible.
Worst
record in the NBA.
But it was
professional sports.
But it was
since
in LA.
1981 when he bought it.
And it could make him money because it was in LA.
Well,
and he looked at it purely as a business.
He sucked the teat of the NBA for about 28 years, putting very little in and getting the same back as the Bulls because it's a collective bargaining agreement.
Right.
They get the same equal share in TV and all the other sponsorships league-wide. Now, the individual stuff that they do in certain cities, that's their own. But he got the same amount that the Bulls got the same year the Bulls won the championship. And they were in last place in the Pacific Division.
Right.
So what was the motivation? He did very little. Talk about people who are abusing the system and getting something for putting nothing in.
Yes.
It's the same thing he was making fun of, the people that worked for him.
Sure.
He was guilty of doing it too. It's a slave owner's mentality where he thinks, I don't mind making money off of you. I don't mind sleeping with you. I don't mind taking complete advantage of you. But by no means are you any better than me. I'm a lot better than you.
Well,
that's the mentality.
You make a good point. Listen, another thing that's gross about this whole situation is if you have that view on race that this guy has about black people, whatever, and you go into the business of basketball, which is just dominated by black people.
Right.
You truly just look at them as like you're buying a tractor or something.
It's a product. It's cattle.
Yeah, it's just make me money, and I don't. You're not a human being.
No.
It's just an investment. If you have those views and you go into basketball, that's the only reason you would go in is money, not because you like the people that work for you or you really care about them. And I'm sure a lot of people have known that's how he feels for a long time, and they just tolerated it.
Well, you've got to ask yourself, though, what about the NBA? They're partly to blame in this as well.
I agree. You don't think people knew this guy?
Well, think about it.
Everyone knew.
People,
it was like this.
People forget a couple years back, I think it was maybe 7, 8 years back, he would heckle Baron Davis, his own player.
Right.
He would, in the middle of the
guy's
game,
clearly nuts.
Would curse at his own player and say, I'm going to do everything I can to get you out of here, you son.
I want you out of here. I buy you clothes.
There are stories of him taking his female companions into the locker room after games and saying to him, commenting, look at their beautiful black bodies.
Yeah, but what does his wife think about this tape? His wife just defended him tonight.
He's out of his mind.
On
and
Entertainment
so is
Tonight.
she. Yeah, so is she. So,
she's in denial like Sandusky's wife is in denial.
Well, that's the thing. His wife, who sometimes makes it to the games with him, other times it's just a woman, another woman, or a hooker, or his last fling, this woman who recorded this conversation.
I'm the only one allowed to bring black people to the games.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I mean,
and his nasally voice is so funny. He's just gross. Let's hear a little more of it.
I didn't move Matt Kemp and Magic Johnson.
Why?
But I thought Matt Kemp is mixed, and he was okay, just like me. He's lighter and whiter than me.
Okay.
I met his mother.
I love it. He's like, okay.
You think I'm a racist? And
I don't think you're a racist.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. No, why you think I'm a racist?
Obviously, yeah. Well, that's another
It's
thing.
a
He's
retarded conversation.
Listen, he's an 80-year-old man set in his ways. He's never
How
heard.
does a guy this stupid get that much money? It must not be that hard in this
real
country.
estate.
Well, he's in real estate, but he's a slumlord. If
He was an ambulance chaser first.
Was he?
Yeah,
Was he
that's
a
how he
lawyer?
started. He was a lawyer, personal injury lawyer. That's how he made money.
He's not a very good man. That's
Not at all.
There's stories of him like throwing blacks out of his.
Oh, well, he said when he apparently, this is again alleged because he wasn't convicted in the courtroom, but I read some of the transcripts. So there was the people that worked for him, the property managers, would testify against him in this proceeding. And she said that when he would instruct her on how to take care of people in the buildings, he would say, listen, ignore them. Don't take care of the blacks and the Mexicans. They're the ones that smell because all they do is sit around all day, do nothing, they don't wash, and they smoke and drink.
Well, listen, again.
That is his perception, but he doesn't mind taking their rent money, though.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's the hypocrisy of it all.
If you have enough money, first of all, lawsuits and stuff, if you have enough money, and this is what's scary about this country, if you have enough money, you can make stuff disappear.
Sure.
Before it ever gets to court. If you pay the right lawyers, and lawyers are sleazes, they'll do whatever they have to do for money. The one credit I'll give this broad is she finally took him down.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, at the age of 80, the guy's been living like this forever.
He's been a bad person for a long time.
He's clearly nuts. She's almost retarded and just sleazy. And it's just a funny conversation between two crazy people. Life has outgrown his ignorant views. He's got to take his chips and leave the game.
I think if he wasn't the owner of an NBA basketball team that employed black people, the head coach is a black person, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. In other words, it would be kind of like the Cliven Bundy guy out in Nevada. Are we surprised that he's a racist?
Right.
Are we surprised that he says black people would be better off in slavery than this public subsidies?
Right.
When he's getting public subsidies for the last 20 years, not paying his bills on the grazing fees, he's the absolute hypocrite too. So are we really surprised? No, I think the problem with Sterling is he employs people.
Of course.
And I think that's the problem.
I mean, listen.
You can say no to people as far as jobs, take away their livelihoods. He's in that position.
Including this girl. I mean, he's saying to her, if you don't do what I want, I'll go get another girl. He's employing her. She's, like she said, she's mixed.
Well,
she's Mexican and black.
Right.
I'm surprised she didn't try to blackmail him first. That would have been the move. Like, she could have got $50 million for that tape. His lawyers he probably thinks nothing's wrong with it, but his lawyers would have went, look, pay her.
Right, you got to pay her.
And so she went the other way. She wanted to be more famous. So she's fame. That's L.A. She's more fame hungry than money hungry.
No question.
Clearly, she wants to be a star.
Because here's the thing, too. Here's the thing she can fall back on. She could always find someone to take care of her.
Yeah. No,
but,
of course.
But that person who takes
I'll
care of her,
tomorrow.
the next guy coming up, he may not make her famous. So she's going to get her fame, and then the next guy coming up will be more than happy to take care of everything she needs.
Look, she made a bad move.
How old
she's
is she?
already a joke. She's already a joke. She's a punchline already. And she didn't get the money. She should have blackmailed him for $50 million and just lived her life.
It just again.
Now she's famous for being a joke.
I think the good thing is that she did do us a service in that one less guy in a position now.
Well, she took him down, that's for sure.
That's the thing. She's a joke until this turns around and she gets paid. Because the way that this sounds, the way that it sets up, she's baiting him. You know,
of course,
absolutely.
It's totally obvious. I mean, is there some backstory that we don't know about that
Well, who
this
knows
will
how he probably treated her like he treats his players and his tenants and everybody else in his life. He probably took her for granted, mistreated her, and this is her way of getting back at him.
When money's involved, it's a complicated situation.
She's smarter than we think.
Well, I don't listen. If she was smart, who's going to pay her now?
Right.
She played all her cards.
Right,
gone.
she took it to TMZ for nothing.
Yeah, she turned her cards over. You know,
right.
I mean, and if Oprah or anybody wants to interview this broad, if they're smart, they'll lowball the price because she just wants to be famous.
Right.
That's what she's hungry for. Clearly,
everybody's saying her name.
You know, I mean, she might get some sort of representation who says, "Look, let's make some money off this," but it's going to be minimal.
What's with the one initial first name? What's that all about?
She probably thought that'll make her more famous.
Did she have delusions of grandeur earlier on that she was already famous and the name she'd fill out the name one day?
Yeah. What was her story before she was his sometimes?
No clue, man. Don't get me to guessing because they're never going to be good guesses.
I think she did some modeling, and
some derivative.
I think she was on American Idol.
Was she? No.
No, listen. I mean, it's just a really crazy conversation. And his whiny voice is my favorite. Do I not pay them? Do I not give them shoes?
I told you the story off at camera about what one of my owners said. We're at a barbecue in the summer. I won't mention the name or the team I played for, and we're taking a tour right before the afternoon barbecue. And as he's taking us around, we go into his pool room, and he had a Persian rug on the floor. And the Persian rug has writing similar to Arabic writing. He assumed I could read it.
And you're Arabic.
I'm Arabic. Yeah. I'm Arabic, but I'm not Persian. So I tried to explain to him that I couldn't translate that. And in a joking manner, even though it wasn't funny, he turned around and said, "Oh, nonetheless, it probably says kill all the Arabs." And I remember thinking about, and he laughed.
Was it just you and him in the room?
No. It was me and about 10 other people, but none of them were ball players. They were all front office people, so they all gave an uncomfortable laugh. Exactly. But I remember being stunned, and I remember the menu had, like we mentioned, filet mignon and lobster, and I could not eat a thing because I was disillusioned. I was disgusted because this guy at the bottom of the checks that I was cashing, there was his name.
He's your boss, yeah.
What do you think about what the Clippers did? I mean, they kind of put up a little protest wearing the black wristbands, and they took their warm-ups and turned them inside out.
Well,
and
here's
they
where
threw the jerseys in the middle of the...
Here's where it's complicated. When money's involved, it's complicated. I'm not blaming or discrediting Paul or Griffin, but they're not going to rip up their checks and throw them in the middle. That would be a real protest.
And they're not going to
money.
They're not going to tank a game either because there are playoff shares in the NBA. When you advance, you get more.
Why hurt themselves?
That's what I mean.
But in essence, they ended up tanking the game because of all of the commotion and distraction that this is created.
You could also
they
say
didn't tank
that Sterling tanked it. Sterling tanked it.
No, he did.
He was their own worst enemy. You're absolutely right. He was tougher than the Golden State Warriors the other day. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. All of the backlash, but behind closed doors, every second I heard every second that they've been communicated with on Twitter or online in any way, or family calling, or someone saying something.
Right.
That's taking away from time that they needed to prepare.
No question.
You guys are both pros. You know better than anybody.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot that took a lot of time.
Oh well, here's the thing, and I was mentioning on some other radio show this morning. In the NBA, like in the pros, you get interviewed before the game.
Yeah.
So now if 20, 30 people come in and they're a gaggle and they talk to you about this constantly.
That's all they're going to talk about.
How are you supposed to shut down and then go, okay, I got to cover Seth Curry tonight. Right. What does he do on pick and roll? I mean, it's unbelievably distracting. So, yeah, you have only Donald Sterling to thank for that.
And if you're the other team's coach and you're a motivator, you go right for that jugular.
Absolutely. You don't let up.
Well, that's the thing. Mark Jackson came out and said he doesn't believe that Clippers fans should show up for this next game.
Magic Johnson said he'll never go to another Clipper game, which is a moot point because he's clearly not allowed.
Well, he wants to buy it. Yeah.
Magic, I hate to break this to you, you're not allowed at the game.
Well, they're saying Magic's group wants to buy the Clippers.
Well, here's the thing.
I think that'd be great.
Black people should go to the game in droves now. They should sit right behind them. They should sell all the tickets.
Again, the idea of he doesn't mind black people sitting some other parts of his arena. He just doesn't want them sitting next to him.
The whole thing is crazy.
With his girlfriend.
It's archaic and
that's
nuts.
the whole point. If she brings him, he's gonna have to sit next to him.
Well, as sleazy as his broad is, she brought this guy down. Like Nixon got brought down by.
Well, that's the thing. Can you believe it took this? The fact is, since 1981, he's been the owner there, and rumors have been circulating. Not just rumors. Facts have been circulating about this guy, about Sterling's racism. Everyone knew, everyone in the league knew, but there was nothing that anyone did until potentially now.
You know what
we
sucks?
don't know what's going to come down tomorrow, what the ruling's going to be on.
You know what sucks? The guy bought the team for $12 million. It's worth $575 million.
More than that, Artie. They said, if you think of the way
the guy knows what he's doing.
Sacramento got sold for $535,000. This team's in LA and they're better.
Right.
They're going to make more than that. But here's another point. Bill Roden, who writes
just hold on. I got to take a break. I'm sorry, but I want to hear. Just hold on to that. Absolutely. We're gonna come back. Al's gonna make his point. We'll talk more about this. Hopefully more about actual basketball. And there's a ton of phone calls want to say goodbye. I'll try to get to all of them. Back after this.
The Artie Lange Show. Weeknights on Audience. Only on DirecTV.